Once again, welcome to Marketing from the Stage. In this module, I'll recap everything from the previous modules and show you how to put it together to create a compelling speech and also how to handle your audience. The ability to move your audience to respond to your call to action is what makes a difference between a highly successful presentation and a mediocre speech. Wouldn't it be a waste if you gave a top-notch presentation but didn't make full use of it? If you did a good job, your audience would want more from you, and that's where a call to action comes in. Every speaker needs to learn how to use a call to action. The key to have a successful presentation is by getting your audience to involve and participate. The simplest and fastest way to have your audience participate in your speech is to use an icebreaker in the beginning of your presentation. Because one of your roles as a speaker is to be a quasi-facilitator as well. Keep in mind that the presentation is all about your audience, not about boasting your ego on stage. The purpose of having the presentation is to move your audience into taking action. Don't underestimate the importance of 100% engagement with your audience. You can begin the icebreaker session with a pair or group exercise. This will definitely help them to get to know each other and create a more relaxing atmosphere. Sometimes at the beginning of a presentation or seminar, the speaker will ask the audience to close their eyes and visualize. This is actually a process for the audience to relax and quiet themselves and prepare them for the presentation later. How to spice up your presentation and prevent it from getting dull and boring for your audience? Here's what you can do. Give them quizzes, challenges, or questions to have them recall the content from your speech earlier. This will keep them awake and they'll be more alert. Here are more tips on how to deliver a high-impact speech. There's always room for improvement. As I mentioned earlier, keep it as short as possible. It should not exceed 45 minutes. To keep your speech as short as possible, remember the KISS principle as well. Keep it simple, silly. The simpler the speech is, the more effective the speech is. Nothing else is more important than this. Stick to the main focus of the presentation. To be able to deliver a presentation with a clear goal, you need to always focus on the main objective. When you're stuck in the middle of your presentation, you can always revise your presentation once again from the beginning, which is a good way to keep you on the right track. Like I mentioned earlier, stories are an important element. Make full use of them in your presentation, especially when it's your own testimony that can support your speech. Last but not least, get your audience to participate. In order to make a successful presentation, it's crucial to have a question and answer session. This is the time for you to interact with your audience by answering their questions. How the speaker interacts with the audience is important to gauge whether the audience will take action after your presentation or not. Don't worry about it. There are ways to handle this effectively. It's ideal to save your last 5 to 10 minutes for the Q&A session. You can mention this in the beginning of your speech to avoid interruptions in the middle of your presentation. Make use of this 5 to 10 minutes because answering questions from your audience helps you to build trust and establish your credibility as an expert in your field. During the Q&A session, it will be good to stay calm and listen to questions from your audience. Repeat the question after the audience asks. By doing this, you're sharing the question with the other audience in the room, as well as giving yourself some time to gather the answer for the question. The body language in this session is fundamental. Do not point at the selected member using your index finger. Instead, stretch your palm or thumb. Be aware of this. Pointing to your audience with your index finger might offend your audience. Unexpected things do happen in the Q&A session. You're probably wondering, what if I come across a difficult audience? If you receive an unrelated question, kindly explain to them that it's beyond the scope of your topic and then ask the person to take a seat. Don't forget about this. Each one of them is a potential customer. So be gentle and have patience when you're handling a difficult crowd. When you receive an argumentative question, answer it quickly and move on. There's no point arguing with an audience member when it comes to these kinds of questions. You're not in a debate session. Be courteous and professional to all of them. If someone asks you a question which you definitely know will require a long explanation, Tell them to come backstage after the speech to clear their doubts.